It's Halloween 2019, and we're going to turn this space magically into this. Stay tuned. This is Wentz Train Fanatics. I'm Michael Wentz. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below. And while you're at it, go ahead and ring that train bell so that this way you can be alerted every time we upload a new video. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the breakdown of how I built this foldable train platform. So space is very limited in this area, and what we definitely wanted to make sure we did was to provide enough room so that when our oil company comes, they can come and service our boiler, and they wouldn't need to sit there and climb underneath our layout or around our layout. So we didn't want to make it too permanent. We wanted to be able to have it and use it when we need to, but the very few times a year where the oil company comes, we want to make sure we're giving them enough space. So in order to do that, I came up with this design of a folding platform. So the concept that we have here is that we're going to have a siding that's going to be elevated approximately 36 inches off of the ground. We've measured it based on our existing platform. We want to make sure that it's at the same level. So what I went ahead and did was I built this frame here. This will be the back end of the siding of that platform. And what the idea and the concept is to have the wood that's going to be placed on top. We have 3/4 inch plywood that's going to sit on top. But the idea is so that we can fold it away. Sometimes in a New York City apartment or some kind of compact apartments or living spaces, people tend to get furniture that you can easily just fold up, pack up, put away. You know, make it as small as possible so that you have free space around it. So went ahead, we built this out of 2x4s. Okay, we have it structured on these verticals. Now, because of the weight, because of the fact that when it's all packed away, I needed to make sure that I built a design legs down here so that it can not tip over. And we're gonna have we're gonna have the plywood sitting on top. We're gonna have a layer of homosote. We're gonna have track. We're gonna have switches. We're gonna have scenery. So that can get kind of heavy. So what I did is I made sure that I came out on 13 inches from the base. It clears where I have this leg, which is going to be the front leg that's going to support it. So it's enough that it doesn't impede on me fully being able to open this. And then I have the angle brace just so that it can help support the weight. And again, the idea is that we're going to have the wood as it is. This is in the open position here. What that's going to do is that's going to be the 4 corners that are going to help support the platform. And when we're done, the idea is to hold on to the platform, close these up, okay, as we're holding that platform, that wood, and then we'll be able to lower that wood so that that platform will now be in the vertical position, giving this much room for somebody to come and work on our boiler, or for us to be able to come and pull engines and everything else that we have in storage located above our oil burner or our oil tank. So again, this is what we have. We have a vertical support located at the bottom of it. We have wheels. Okay, now we have regular wheels got at the hardware store, so that will give us the opportunity to be able to move it back and forth. So here I have the plywood, 3/4 inch plywood attached to the framework that I just showed. It's attached in the back, and the back only, by 5 screws located throughout the length of the platform. Now there is a seam that I pre-cut located right here. Now what I've done was I went ahead and I measured 4 pieces of plywood, 4 2x4s, because I'm going to have all the 2x4s are going to be stacked. One, I'm going to be actually cutting out a notch because I have this frame which is holding up a shelf that you can't see in the frame right now. But these 2 pieces of wood that are located here, they're actually holding up this shelf. So I'm going to cut out the notches, so I've accounted for those so that I can make sure that this is flush all the way against my oil tank. You know, 1.5 to 2.5 inches is prime real estate when you're trying to compact this and put that all in. So I went ahead and I'm going to cut out, I measured so that I can cut out a notch for one 2x4 here. I have the supporting 2x4 that's located in the frame, and then when I close in the other 2x4s, I have enough room for those as well. Okay, so I have my folding leg and my supporting angle, so I have room for enough for 4 2x4s located here, and that's where I created my seam. I have 2 heavy-duty door hinges that are holding on this part of the platform to the platform that's in the back. That's going to help support the weight as I close this. All right, so now the closing, all I have to do is just lift this up just a little bit. I'm going to push in one of my legs that way. I'm going to grab the other side, grab it in, and then this will go down. Now just like that, now I have all this space. It's approximately 2 feet, 2.5 feet, and give plenty of space for my oil burner mechanic or someone else to come in and to be able to work in this area. Now what also is important, what I want to do is I want to make sure that when I built my frame, I had enough space that I can put 2 Tupperware storage containers side by side. What I like to do down in my basement is have this Tupperware storage located on the bottom, and then all my boxes, my empty boxes, my filled boxes of all my rolling stock and engines, and have those on top, taking up all the rest of the space. So now what I'm going to do, the next step for this is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the Homosew on here, and then I'm going to cut out those notches so that this frame could, so that this way this platform can fit right into position. And let's see how that looks.
Whoa, that's agitating.
Alright, so now what I've done is I've taken the Homosew, which is a composite material you can find at a big box hardware store. I put down underneath it liquid nails adhesive, put a couple of heavy boxes on top of it just to make sure that it's all smoothed out, put some clamps on it, let it sit for about a half an hour, 45 minutes to dry. Then I came back, now I trimmed the Homosew so that it would take the same shape as the plywood. Now there's 2 ways of doing that. You could do it the quick and really easy way, and that's take a skill saw and go around. That does create a lot of dust, so if you don't mind cleaning up the dust afterwards, then that's great. Otherwise you could just take a box cutter. It is a lot longer, it is a lot more tedious work, but it's a lot cleaner at the end. So whatever is more comfortable for you, that's whatever you can do. We have a total of 6 switches that are here. All of these switches are remote switches and they are command. So what that basically means is that I can control all of my switches. I can control all of these Lionel FasTrack switches with my TMCC, with my my Lionel 990 controller. I can program that so that I don't have to be over here to either manually turn these to change the direction or to use the remotes. Now, right now nothing is powered, nothing is connected. I'll save that for part 2. But eventually what's going to happen is I'm going to screw this track in through the Homosew, through the plywood, so that it's a lot more secure, so that when I do tilt it, when I when I fold it down so that I can have access, my track will stay on. What I'm also going to do in a later video is I'm going to start putting, I'm going to paint the scenery. I'm going to put gravel around, dirt, soil, grass, lights, make it really look like a true yard. I'll save all that for another video, but for now we have 6 switches and it creates 6 different lines so that we can have both our engines and rolling stock. In a later video also, in the part 2 of this, I will show how I put my engine house in that far corner so that all my engines, I'll have 2, 3, 4 engines perhaps, all in the engine house, and they'll be protected away from all the dust. Again, this is a basement, so you're going to get a lot of dust. We want to make sure that we can try to protect our engines the most. Alright, so again, if you're new here, hope you enjoyed it. Share your comments below. We look forward to reading them. And if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that subscribe button and ring that train bell down there so that you can get alerted whenever we update a new video.